Good morning from Los Angeles. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend? Um, Happy Monday, everybody. I am back for you guys like the new thumbnail. I'm back for Monday's live trading, if there is any trades to be done. To be perfectly honest, I will share obviously my screen with you in a minute. Except that this week is a big week. This week probably will dictate what happens to the rest of the year, probably, and probably for the next 6 8 months. What's the reason? The reason is big Fed decision on interest rates. First time Fed's expected to cut the rates in 4 years after they raised the rates from 0% to 5% on short term, and long terms went up to about 4.5. So they had an inflation problem, tried to kill inflation. I don't think it's dead. I've done that. I've done many, many videos about that. I've done many videos about their gaslighting on economic data. I don't know what else to say about that. But then, so this is the week that's going to separate the men from the boys. Shout out to Barcelona. So, as you may or may not know, there is two types of football: the real football and the egg-shaped football. The egg-shaped football is big in the U.S. Somehow, a game that's actually 60 minutes long lasts about 4.5 hours. You know, I don't know how that works. I mean, it works obviously because of commercials, right? And somehow people love big guys hitting each other and doing whatever they do. I mean, I like football, American football. I mean, don't get me wrong, but you know, what doesn't, I'm going to piss a lot of people off by saying this, but what does American football have to do with the foot other than what? Running the ball with the foot, I guess. Kickoffs, punting, and field goals and extra points, right? So I don't know. The real football that dates back to 120 years from UK is the one that we actually play with the foot. More people follow and play the round ball football than probably American football by 3 to 5x around the globe. It's the most watched, most followed sport in the globe, around the globe. So my team has always been Barcelona, always. Good times, bad times, great teams, great players. And, we had a rough spot with the financing of the club. We know how that goes. Borrowed a lot of money, paid a lot of players, a lot of, money, high paid players. That's how you get there, obviously. Had a lot of trophies. And then the last, I don't know, 6 years or so, we had a rough patch. Obviously, like every other team, even in the NFL, right? You have ebbs and flows. There are teams that dominate for a few years and then they go away, and many reasons. Others obviously catch up. And the biggest opponent of ours is Real Madrid, and some of you may be Madrid fans. So if you're a Madrid fan, welcome to Monday training session, learning session, whatever you want to call it. So I have like a gazillion hats, but I like specifically two. This one, this is fairly new actually. This is actually from the stadium merchandise store. Camp Nou sits about 90,000 people. If you ever go to Europe and ever happen to go to Barcelona, please go visit Camp Nou. Please visit the locker rooms, and if you can catch a game with 90,000 people singing, probably for 90 minutes, because that's a soccer game, 90-minute soccer match or football match lasts 90 minutes. And on TV, it lasts 90 minutes with a 15-minute halftime. It's 2 45-minute halves and nonstop running. I think actual football players probably, maybe outside hockey players, are probably the best athletes on the planet. But again, my opinion, I'm biased. And just like my trading is these days, I'm negative, right? But so long story short, Every weekend, the league games happen. The league started about 6 weeks or 5-6 weeks ago in Europe. And I watch obviously every game, if not live, on a delay for sure. So, but then there's many other games that go on, which is Champions League is going to start. You know, I mean, there's a lot more going on. So these guys play probably like 60 games in about 8 months, and each game being 90 minutes. You know, it takes a lot out of you. I've played it. My son plays it. So every weekend, league games happen. When the league games happen, obviously there is a result. So this weekend, Barcelona played and won 4-1. So on my Monday lives, if Barca has won, you guys are going to see me with a Barca hat. Okay? If I'm not wearing a Barca hat on a Monday, you know I'm not in a good mood. You know the team lost. So at the moment, they have won every single game so far. I mean, they have a new coach, the German national team coach, actually, just signed up last year. And I can already tell the system is quite different than what it's been outside the usual Barca style. A lot more forward, a lot more direct play. Pretty German, actually, because I finished high school in Germany before I came to the US, and that's how we used to play. Very physical, not only physical, but conditioning. You can tell they are so well conditioned. And like most German teams, conditioning wins games. So what happens? You play 80 minutes, you run, especially if you're playing against a team like Barcelona. They move the ball around a lot. They pass about 700 times a match. So when you do that, move the ball a lot, side to side, the other team has to shift. And the actual football pitch, by the way, is bigger than the American football pitch, a little bit wider for sure, and a little bit longer. And so the other team is chasing shadows pretty much all 90 minutes. And then what happens if you're in really good shape, you can last that. And if you're in bad shape, like most, well, not bad shape, they're good shape, but they can't last. What happens is that last 15 minutes, the better conditioned team will score and win the game. And not that that's what happened this weekend. You know, it was an easy game. It was an average at best opponent in Spain, and they won 4-1. So every Monday when you guys see me with this hat or any other Barcelona hat, this is the logo, by the way. FC Barcelona, Football Club Barcelona, from Catalonia. And, you know, that's what I'm going to wear. If I'm not wearing a Barca hat, we lost. I don't like it. I don't like losses. But so far, unblemished record, all wins. Pretty damn good, I'd say. So welcome to everybody. Good morning, Techie B. Good morning, Mr. Gambit. Good morning, Vic G. So let's go through some business. Please go, if you watch this now or later, please go to www.sergioavidian.com. Sign up to the new newsletter, free newsletter. That's one. Number two, the channel has done well enough that Chris and we have set up memberships now. You guys can see that. If you want to support the channel, become a member. It's really, like a burger a month. And, please do so if you feel like it. If you feel like you're learning, support the channel. Another thing that's we're able to accept until probably another 2 weeks or so is super chats and super stickers. I'm not asking for money. Don't get me wrong. YouTube money is not money. But what I'm saying is that all this work has to be supported somehow, some way, paid for it somehow, some way. And, if you guys want to support the channel, please grab a membership for yourself. Now, members are going to get 2 members-only live streams, okay? Additional ones on top of these. And in those, it's going to be a lot more, I don't know how many people will sign up, but it's going to be a lot more personable, a lot smaller group, and a lot more attention paid to individual needs. And lastly, what's going to happen is that My email for this channel is sergio@sergioavidian.com. They will have access to that if they ask me questions. Obviously, if the members do, I will get back to them faster than actual members. And one other thing, somebody actually brought that up in an email that they sent me, and actually they signed up. I don't think he's here yet, but I am open to personal coaching and personal mentorship. I have packages that I'm putting together for those. Those will be strictly one-on-one, outside the channel, obviously. And my time is valuable. I do a lot of different things, a lot of pens on a lot of different fires, but my livelihood is trading, right? My livelihood is investing. And if you guys want to accelerate your learning curve, I'm open to doing some one-on-one mentorship or one-on-one coaching. Again, those packages that's not on the channel. On the channel, we have two things right now. We have regular memberships, and those members will get 2 extra live streams, like a group session, and super chats and super stickers and whatever they are. So outside that, let's get into the week. Right, I see a few of you are here. So Mojotronics, hello. So big week this week. Okay, so today, first of all, I'm going to share my account in a minute, but I'm 98.7% in cash. I did one trade today already, made $100. Nothing important, just got bored. Market's basically going sideways since it opened. It's a down day. I'll go through the Mag 7. One of the Mag 7s is getting smashed today, which is Apple. I'll give you guys my opinion on all that stuff in a minute, but big week this week. So between now and Wednesday, okay, so if you are under a rock and you don't know, Wednesday is the day that the Federal Reserve, they meet the day before and they announce their decision on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. Well, guess what? I'm going live on Wednesday at 10 a.m. And Wednesday is definitely going to be full of action. I will really pay attention to what I'm doing. But between now and then, I'm not going to take too many positions. I'm not going to overtrade. I'm not going to revenge trade, or I'm not going to, trade just to trade. I mean, I don't need the adrenaline, right? What I need to do, there's Craig. Thank you, Craig. See, there you go. Thank you, sir. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit on my hands. A lot of people, like I did a spaces yesterday with John, FYI, I am interviewing a gentleman named Anthony Crudell. Anthony Crudell is the OG of OGs. You guys will learn a lot from it. We will put it on the channel. I'm going to interview him and record it on Thursday. Probably we'll put it on the channel Friday or next week, depending on Chris, what he does, what he does with it. As you guys know, Chris from the other channel is my YouTube manager here, and he does a fantastic job with all the videos that you guys are seeing. Although a couple of people said, your thumbnail shocked look, not a good look. I'm going like, Chris, are you listening? People are not liking my mug on that one. We may have to change that. And but overall, things are going well with the channel. It's growing slow and steady, surely. The other thing is, so Wednesday, between now and Wednesday, I don't know. I mean, as I said, I'm 98.7% cash. I suggest you guys do the same. No need to trade. No need to anticipate. No need to guess. No need to do anything, really. Most of the trading that I do is considered boring, but then I don't have to trade, right? Markets open every day. Why do I need to trade? I used to be, addicted, right? Because you get used to that adrenaline rush. You feel like you're missing things that are not there. Don't do it. Sit on your hands. Sitting on your hands is the best thing to do, especially on a week like this week, where literally I believe this is probably the most important week in the last 3 years, outside COVID. This is the week that the Fed is going to cut rates. How's the market going to behave. I did videos. We're going to release a video about the Fed pivot. Every time Fed pivots, initial reaction is positive. But if we're going in a recession, including a Fed pivot, I talked about it actually last Friday's Power Hour. It's negative over the next 8 to 9 months to the tune of 35%. This time we don't know if we're going in a recession, but the market is 6 months ahead always of the news. So I'll just sit on my hands, trade what's given to me, as opposed to be a jockey, then overtrade and do all these things. No need. Just wait a couple of days, let things settle down, let the algos do what they do, create volatility, and then, trade what's in front of you, as opposed to, oh, no, I have to be involved. I mean, look, it's your call, obviously, but I'm just telling you guys what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get sucked into some sort of, false sense of security that, yes, I know for sure this is what the market's going to do. I don't know. If anybody says they know, they're lying to you. And so there's two possibilities on Wednesday, which I will be live actually during the announcement, and then I will watch actually Chairman Powell's news conference after the decision has been announced, and we can all watch it together if you guys join the live on Wednesday. And then I'll let things settle down. Then I'll let the volatility subside a little bit, because it's going to be definitely volatile. It's going to be herky-jerky. I don't need to trade. I had a great week last week. I liquidated pretty much everything, as I told you guys on Friday. If you followed me on three different, not recommendations, this is not stock recommendations. It's not a stock advice, financial advice, trading advice. It's information and education only. Get that out of the way, disclaimer. So if you did follow me, you made good money. You made decent money anyway. I mean, I had a great week, so I'm going to keep my powder dry. I'm going to keep my barrels loaded, or my chamber, right? 1 in the chamber and 15 in the magazine. I'm very happy with sitting on cash for a couple of days until the decision comes out and things settle down a little bit. Then, so the idea about trading is this. I know a lot of day traders make a lot of money. Great, wonderful. But most of them, I don't know how realistic they are, or I don't know how truthful they are, honestly. They just want to get the clicks and views and whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm not in this game at this stage of my life, to buy a Lamborghini and take a picture with it and put it on social media. I'm a little bit more mature than that. Not that that's not mature. Look, all power to them. Flexing is important these days, as we know. But I'm not in it for that. I'm in it to grow long-term wealth, right? Create some long-term wealth and do well for my family. And you should do the same. Young, old, doesn't matter. There's no wrong time to invest. And this week, if you have an account at your dollar cost average, it may be a good time to add to your positions on the ETFs and indexes. So I'm sitting on my hands. I will present the charts in a minute. I did one chart, literally exactly made $100 on the S&P 500 weekly options. But other than that, no. The other thing I'm noticing is that the IV is not the IV you put in your arm. IV in option land is called okay, King Koopa, I'll answer questions like in a minute. So today, please make this chat go crazy, full of questions. I don't know how many of you are here, but if enough of you are here, there is no bad question. I'm here to inform and educate, and I will answer every question. Don't think, oh, I'm intimidated. Oh, I'm this. I'm like, no, man, the question is question. We're all human. You're all here to learn. If you're here to learn. You're not here to get intimidated. And, once in a while, people tell me, Sergio, you're intimidating. I'm like, no, not really. I mean, if you know me in person, I'm not. But I may come off that way because I have a serious face most of the time, I guess. And because I do take these things seriously. Why shouldn't I take what the government's doing, gaslighting me with economic data? Why shouldn't I take, inflation not being dead? Why shouldn't I take Fed being behind the curve? Why shouldn't I take any of this seriously? I have to take it seriously because I create a budget for my family, and I don't want to blow that budget. But what they do, it affects that directly, right? If inflation is running hot and everything I'm buying is up 50, 60, 80, 100% over the last 3, 4 years, and my income is not keeping pace, I have to create income, right? Somehow. And I don't want to force it, but we all are facing inflation, rich, poor, sideways, whatever. So to me, I do take these things seriously, and I wish you all did too. I wish you all took this a lot more seriously than you are doing now. And I wish if you have still, family dinner tables every day or at least a few times a week, I wish this would be the conversation. The economy would be the conversation. Maybe not politics as much because, as we know, politics is out of control. I used to love discussing politics, but then there is no sense or sensibility left in that. FYI, thank God. I mean, look, he's a human. You guys may hate him or like him, but second second assassination attempt on Trump. I mean, how many lives does this guy have? Is he going to be alive by the election? I mean, I don't know. I mean, people are coming out of those nut jobs, are coming out of the woodworks trying to kill this guy. Um, I don't know. I mean, is it that this is the only way for it to stop him from winning in November? I don't know. I'm just appalled, right? That some people think this is an okay thing to do. Like on Twitter, I'm on Twitter quite active. It's in the show notes. Go follow me there at Sergio Abed. How is this normal? This is not normal. I mean, 2 assassination attempts within, I don't know, 60 days, I guess. Um, and 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 this guy at least got apprehended. So now I'm pretty sure they're going to get some information out of this guy. But then if they already posted his history, I mean, guy's in a nut job. Okay, fine. But yeah, I wish this is the dinner table conversations you guys are having. This is what you guys are talking about, because what the Fed does, what Washington does, you like it or not, will affect your livelihood in whatever you're doing. You could be a plumber, you could be a rideshare driver, you could be a professor, you could be whatever. It doesn't matter, right? This, I think, is just missing in our society these days. We just like memes and laugh at 15-second TikTok videos and whatever. So that's why maybe people think, I'm intimidating, or people go, "You're too serious." I'm like, no, I'm trying to do well. I want to laugh as much as the next guy, but I don't see anything funny about what's going on today. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you guys do. Maybe age has something to do with it. But so this week, Wednesday, please join the live. And by the way, please thumbs up. Please, Chris says Algo, Algo is liking it. So thumbs up, a lot of comments on the videos and the lives or whatever. And those help, number one. But number two, I'm going to be going live actually 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to do it 3 times. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Friday is going to be calling a power hour. We need to start calling it something else. We change our thumbnail for Mondays and Wednesdays. For the foreseeable future, I'm going to do these. Obviously, unless I have something more important going on, then I may not. I may skip a day or two. But so Wednesday, let's party. I mean, we're going to have some sort of volatility. So I'm going to be live on Wednesday at 10 a.m. The Fed decision is going to come at 11 a.m. Initial decision, and then the Chairman Powell's news conference, which you all can watch on CNBC or wherever you guys want, CNN or whatever, will be probably at 11:30 a.m. And there's definitely going to be some crazy volatility. Again, I'm not saying I'm going to trade it. Just like I told you guys at the start of this before most of you joined, I'm literally 98.7% in cash, and I rather keep it that way. Most of trading that you guys are going to do is going to be wrong. Why is it going to be wrong? Is because you feel like you have a bias, first of all, right? I mean, we all have biases, right? How do we create bias? Well, the bias gets created, first of all, by trying to make the market fit your thought process as opposed to you fitting the market, right? Because the market's going to do what it's going to do. You know, I always put these little one-liners in. Market doesn't have a bias, right? Price is the price. That's the price at that moment. There are willing buyers and sellers. Once in a while, imbalances will happen. And when those imbalances take place, that's when you need to trade, right? Now, how do you discover those imbalances? How do you them? How do you diagnose them? How do you know what to do? That comes with experience, and experience cannot be bought. It could be learned slowly, you know, getting a car in the race. And I have my cars in the race. I've had my cars in the race for years, and I learn. I'm still learning. In fact, this morning, I was up at 5:30, had my cup of coffee. I actually had a great conversation with a young gentleman from Vancouver, Canada. I may add that actually to my arsenal. They have a Discord channel. It's called Quant Data. It's a free Discord channel. You guys want to go learn? That's another additional tool in your toolbox. But I was there for a couple hours. Some great advice. They're a lot more short term than I care to be. You know, they're trying to read the tea leaves their way, you know, without bias, analyzing the data, not looking at charts. I'm more like a chart reader, but then I do understand charts. You know, what charts used to mean years ago is not what it means today. Things have changed, but I have adapted, right? So, but my trading includes not just the charts, although charts pictures are worth 1,000 words. That's undeniable. But also macroeconomy, right? You have to pay attention to the macroeconomy. Well, why is Fed cutting the rates? Fed never cuts the rates when things are well, right? And they're not under pressure because it's an election year or whatever, right? Supposedly they're not supposed to have bias. They're cutting rates because the economy is slowing down very rapidly. And I've been talking about that for 3 months now. Everything that I follow on the deep end of the pool, unemployment and credit card debt, and I mean the actual debt of the government itself, which has hit 35 trillion, and our annual interest costs on that debt just broke $1 trillion, which is more than the defense budget, if you guys can believe it. And we keep adding $1 trillion every 100 days to the deficit. Where is this going to end? Ultimately, all that macro stuff, you know, it all affects the economy, the macro economy, and then that affects businesses of these public companies, and you have to follow that, right? So, to me, those are important issues, man. Right? I'm urging you, imploring you, please read as much as you can. Although not everything on the internet is accurate, we know that fake news happens quite a bit. But you know, that's why I started this channel. So for Wednesday, let's call it a Fed party. Let's have a whole bunch of you know, tag other people saying, hey, there's a live, we're doing a Fed party or whatever you want to do it. And let's have a really active live on Wednesday, because things for the next 6 to 8 months to a year, possibly, depending on what they do and depending on what they say, the expectations are that Fed is going to cut the rates by either 25 basis points. That's called basis points, by the way. 100 basis points is 1%. So when I say 25 basis points, that means 0.25%, or they're going to cut the rates. And when I say the rates, let's make that clear. It's not your credit card. It's not this. It's not that. It's called the federal funds rate. They're going to cut the federal fund rate. That's where the banks borrow at that rate and then sell your loans. That's how banks make money, as you know. Borrow at 5, sell it to you at 10. If your credit is bad, at 15, right? So they're going to cut the Fed funds rate between 25 and 50 basis points. Okay, I'll give you guys my opinion. If it's 25 basis points, I think market will be disappointed. And I think if it's 50 points, market still will be disappointed, but initially it may celebrate that for a couple days. Why would the Fed cut the rates 50 basis points with, according to them, with inflation subsiding? Why? Well, that may show that the Fed is thinking a lot more extra weakness is already baked in, and they're seeing things that they're not liking, indicators as such, like unemployment and GDP data that's coming up. And market, I don't think it's going to like either. And then I did a video. I think it's going to go out either today or tomorrow. The Fed pivot, right? I talked about the Fed pivot going back literally to the 1929. About 5 or 6 Fed pivots, and none has concluded with the market going up. Initially, yes, maybe for like a couple, 3 weeks or a month. And then after that, we roll over. That is the 100% the case. And the declines are in the 30 to 50% range, actually, if we're going in a recession. Now, how will we know if we're going in a recession? Well, you got to wait for the data, economic data, for which you can go to FRED, FRED, Federal Reserve Economic Data page. Google it. You'll get it. That's how you read the tea leaves. That's how you attach your macroeconomic forecast to your trading, and technicals will show you the guide you. That's your guiding light. The technicals are. So, yeah, Wednesday should be interesting. I think Wednesday will guide me in a way that may prove my negative bias, because I've been thinking the economy is actually slowing down. Government's completely gaslighting everybody, which I think it's kind of proven already. The problem with the market, the way where the market is literally at an all-time high, is market's not forecasting a recession, and market's 6 months ahead, and market's going to price that violently and very fast, very fast. Market's expecting a soft landing. Also, go Google. Don't listen to me. Go Google. How many soft landings has the Fed been able to accomplish? See that? That's goose egg. Yeah. Fed is always behind the curve, and I think they're behind the curve again. I think it'll be a shallow recession because the rate cut is happening probably maybe 3 months late, but it's okay. Another thing that you guys need to pay attention to, see, I'm just reading all the tea leaves for you guys. Another thing you guys need to pay attention to, and most of you may not even understand this yet, but please Google again, because I can't do everything. There's something called a carry trade, right? Carry trade is the Japanese yen's value versus the US dollar, okay? Go read about it, or go Google what is the carry trade. And then if you want to go more specific, what is the Japanese yen carry trade? I'm watching the dollar Japanese yen exchange rate. Last time we had the mini crash on the triple Qs by 15% and about 10% on the S&P 500 in about 2 weeks, was because of that, because of the unwinding of the carry trade, right? I don't want to get too much into technicals of it, but unwinding of the carry trade part 2 may be coming around because we're at the scene of the crime. Actually, we're lower than the scene of the crime. So what is happening is that the yen, the Japanese yen, is appreciating against the US dollar. It has gone up about 15%. It's at a very, very critical area. It's about 140 to a dollar. It was about 160 to a dollar. So if the Japanese yen basically keeps getting stronger or gains relative strength against the US dollar, there has to be unwinding done by the trillions. And where did that carry trade go? It also all went into the Mag 7, the triple Qs mostly. So when the currency risk shows up the way it does, and I believe it's going to happen if the yen goes below 140 actually, meaning yen appreciates against the US dollar some more, the second leg of the carry trade is going to happen. When we're cutting the rates, of course, what happens? US dollar should be getting weaker around the world, right? And that kind of completes the picture, because the Japanese are raising rates, we're lowering rates. So when that happens, that carry trade has to be unwound. And a lot of people may be holding the bag on that, a lot of hedge funds. We're talking trillions of dollars now. We're not talking $10, $20 here and there. So those are the things to watch for this week. And Wednesday and the rest of the week should be fun. So 2 out of the 3 days I'm gonna be live. So Wednesday I'm gonna be live for the Fed party, and then Friday I'm gonna be live for Power Hour. I don't know what to name these Monday and Wednesday sessions. What do you guys should think? So send me some ideas. Put some ideas in the chat. I don't know, because we changed the thumbnail. Chris did, which I think was a great idea. So with that said, before I go to my charts and what I've done, or maybe pull a trade or two while you guys are watching, let's answer some questions. Let's see. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Craig, thank you for the membership. King Koopa says, Sergio, ¿cómo estamos? Bien, I think is the answer to that. ¿Cómo estás? Okay, there we go. This is a great question right here. Okay, I'm 33 years old. Is this young enough? Okay, half the question I like, the other half I don't like. If you had said, is this young enough to start investing in the markets? I would have loved this, right? First of all, trading is not how you make money. To create long-term wealth, you need to be investing, especially at your age. So open a Robinhood account if you want to use my, link, referral link. It's in the show notes, or it's in the notes. It should be anyway. I get like free shares. You get free shares. Open an account. Do something called dollar cost averaging into an index. Could be the S&P 500. The symbol is SPY, or could be the triple Qs, QQQ. Could be IWM. I think you should do a mixture of between SPY and IWM, which is the Russell 2000. Start investing, sir. Put $50, $20, $100 a week away. I'll give you the numbers here, King Koopa. If you are 25, and if you do that, $100 a week, not touching the money. So do not touch that money. Let the compounding happen. Do your DCA, dollar cost averaging, every week, regardless. Every Monday, let's say 8 a.m., you buy $100 worth of the ETF. Allow the dividends to be reinvested into shares. If you did that, and if you are 25, you're pretty close to 25. So at 65, you would have $1.3 million by just drip, $100 a week. How do you like them apples? So in your case, when you're hitting 70, you should have $1.2 million. Now, would you rather have $1.2 million or not have $1.2 million? I think you would. So half the question is good. Half the question is, okay, good money in trading. Maybe you meant trading. Well, you'll learn here. On that one, you'll get the car and get in the race, and you'll see, hey, long time no see, Tiger Meg. Good morning. Mojotronic says, ETFs only until I learn how to trade options. Can you talk about your option strategy? I've been talking about my option strategies forever. So let's chat a little bit about that. So on Friday, I see implied volatility. Okay, I recommended books. One great option book and one great technical analysis book by John Murphy. I don't want to put them up, please. I don't have the screenshots for those, but please go visit earlier Power Hours when the channel started, which was for a month, all education. They're in there somewhere, honestly. They're on Amazon. I don't know, like $18, $20. Great tools. Just learn, man. Learn the lingo. Option strategies are endless. So if you do read that book, you will get a few of them. So there's few option strategies that I deploy mostly. Obviously, there are directional bets or directional strategies. And as we all know, right, the most important thing in options, right? So we need to learn the lingo. Strike price, the underlying, if it's an ETF or a stock, in the money, out of the money, right? The Greeks, you got to learn about that. But the most important Greeks are delta and theta. You got to learn about those. You got to learn IV, implied volatility. You got to learn premium. Obviously, you'll be either buying premium or selling premium, and there's different strategies, and there are names for these options that will blow your mind. There are obviously, there are credit spreads, debit spreads, vertical spreads, calendar spreads, straddles, butterfly spreads, condors. I mean, I don't know. I can't explain all of it. Do I use all of them? No, but I use at least a half of them. Mostly if I'm going to do a directional bet, it's in the form of buying premium. And if I want to, let's say, buy Nvidia, I will go sell naked puts to buy the shares at a cheaper price. If not, they will expire worthless, because 90% of options expire worthless, and I just collect the premium. So I'm a premium seller mostly, but I do, like last week, I did a whole bunch of directional bets that worked out well. So you got to learn. I can't feed you everything. Rick Miller says, "Hi, Sergio. I'm retired. Series 760. All right, cool. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, politics are important, but should never, ever dictate your long-term investing profile or your long-term investing, um, I don't know, strategy, right? Because if you look at the markets, and I did that on Friday's Power Hour, go check that out. Average bear market lasts average bear market lasts about 18 months from top to bottom. Average bull market lasts 4.3 to 4.4 years. So if you look at the history of the S&P 500, 10% a year, good, bad, sideways, crashes, all that included in there, right? So if you've been, dollar cost averaging into an ETF, exchange traded fund like spiders, reinvesting your dividends, let the compounding work for you, it's going to do well, regardless, by the way, which party is in charge. Okay, president or legislative office or executive branch or whatever, doesn't make a difference. In fact, I did a video which people did not like because they think I'm a Republican. I mean, I'm fiscally definitely a Republican, so you guys understand that now. Let's clear that up, because if you watch any of my videos, you guys know how hard I'm going at the government with what they're doing, mortgaging my kids' future. Definitely fiscally Republican. So don't let politics get in the way. In fact, when a Democrat is in the White House, markets do better than when Republicans are in the White House. But then, what's the power of the president these days? Not much. The senators rule, the House rules, legislative branch rules more than anything else. I mean, but don't ever let politics get in the way. That's a good one. Vic G says, "Are you going to wear pants?" No, I wish I was in his head, because they know what they're doing already. Well, the meeting is tomorrow. They're just going to confirm. By the way, these Fed meetings, all the Fed governors sit around the conference table, not physically, probably virtually. St. Louis Fed, New York Fed, Cleveland Fed. All these Fed governors, and then they make a decision and they vote. How big the interest rate cut is going to be, 25 or 50 basis points. WeZoom is here. Good morning, WeZoom. Mr. Gambit says, "Hustle every moment in hard times. Multitask." Yeah, I agree. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Usually when we're in a recession, when we are coming, exactly. But you know which one is ahead though? Markets are 6 to 8 months ahead. So what will happen, in my opinion, now is that the rate cuts will happen for a couple of weeks. Market will do well, and then will roll over. And every time an economic data is coming out, it's going to be bad. So that's going to force the Fed to cut the rates more. So it's forecasted that the Fed is going to cut the rate 8 times by the end of 2025. So if they go with a quarter, right, it's going to be, quarter times 8, 200 basis points, 2% interest rates, which is huge. So that means mortgages will go down, then housing activity will pick up again, and then, car loans will go down, the interest cost anyway. But then what happens is that when the Fed raises the rates, the banks immediately raise the rates on their loans, right? But then they kind of slowly lower it, like we know, like it is in our real world. That's how it happens. Let's see how many stocks tanked this week. Hopefully overinflated ones will come. Yeah, potentially, possibly. But then which one do you know is overinflated, right? Okay, Mr. Gambit is on a roll today. Almost going to shake the market up. But I may be at that event actually, and which is in my backyard in Warner Center, literally 15 minutes from here, where I live. Yeah, I have a lot of opinions about that. I don't think that's going to happen, Mr. Gambit. I think Elon Musk is going to learn. Although I love Elon Musk, don't get me wrong, but I think he's going to learn how difficult it is to create a marketplace. I think you're just reading too many news. I think that's probably not going to happen. But again, my opinion. That's why markets happen, right? Diverse opinions. Should we call it? Let's see. Vic says lunch hour. Okay, I'll think about that. Actually, it's lunchtime in New York City, right? 10 a.m. to 11 used to be our lunch because they're 3 hours ahead. Okay, cool. Lunch hour, considered, noted. Halfway through technical and also the financial market just to, well, read the book, highlight, right? Important things. Just learn the patterns, first of all, right? Enough for you to create yourself a bias, which is bad. But, so there you go. Okay, our first member. Hey, there you go. Is the Robinhood explanations of option a good? Yeah, but they'll also get the book, right? I mean, it's cheap, Craig. I think it's like 18, 15 bucks on Amazon. Again, it's in the show notes from the past power hours of the live streams, which I did for literally like 4 to 6 weeks. We did nothing but education. MacD says, I'm 53 with no savings. Well, you're not alone. A lot of people in the U.S. are in your shoes. I talked about the savings rate versus credit card debt in this country last week. Disaster. So, okay, start. How about that? Today is not going to fix your problem. You got to 53 with no savings because you didn't plan when you were 23 or 33 or 43, right? And I understand everybody's conditions are different. We get laid off. We can't do what we want to do, all that stuff. But here, I'm going to show a little bit tough love, okay? Look, I'm sure you were doing fine at some point in your life, and I'm sure you could have just what I recommended to whoever that was. Let's see, who was it? Coupa, right? I said it's never too late to invest. So start investing. 50 bucks, 100 bucks. I mean, look, you're 53. 53 in this day and age is young. I'm 57. Okay. I put my shit together like 25 years ago because I knew about investing and I learned about it. I wish that's what they do in our schools, elementary schools. Instead of talking about sex and stuff, they should teach kids 10 years old about finance. They should teach about, how difficult it is to earn and how difficult it is to keep. That's what they should do. No, they don't do it even in college unless you're taking econ or finance. Well, college is too late because these kids are going to come out of college with $200,000 student loans. What kind of shenanigans is that? They don't even understand how that stuff works. They want to get their degree and get out, which is completely overrated these days. College is completely overrated these days. So start is my answer to you, man. Yeah, Trump rules if it's not dead. I mean, shit. Jesus. How many more? How many lives does that guy have? I mean, the first one was close. Supposedly this wasn't that close. But this guy needs to sit in the house. Seriously. It's like, I mean, he's in public and he's brazen and he's like, he was playing golf yesterday. I mean, shit, somebody's going to take this guy out. We don't want that. I mean, market. Okay. Okay, Vic, you're just like no context, bro. Put something up there. All right. I don't know if my internet is sketchy today, but it seems like it because I'm kind of freezing. All right. So I'm going to add my account to the stage. Yeah, S&P is grinding higher as usual. Let's see. As I said, I'm 98% cash, 98.7% cash. I did one trade. I may pull another trade off shortly. I can see what's happening in the background, but let me add that to the stage. Hope you all can see it. All right, hope you all can see that. This is what's happening to the S&P 500 today. Make that chart bigger. All right, this is the daily. This is the 2-minute. No, sorry, daily chart of the S&P 500. New highs coming up. I mean, we're really close, right up here, right? Let's look at the 2-minute chart. If we're gonna day trade, not a huge fan really. I actually day traded once today, and that was it. Uh, 1 minute. All right, so one day 2-minute chart. Is there anything to do? Not really. S&P is grinding to the highs of the day. It retested. I mean, that was a little channel they created during the morning. One thing to watch today is the triple Qs more than the S&P 500. Why? Because Apple, which is made massive part of the triple Qs, and this is where the sell-off came actually when the market first opened. There was a hard sell-off, snapback, retest, back retest, back retest, and then now we're just kind of curling up. Not much to do at the moment. We're in the middle of nowhere, but let's go through the charts. The Mag 7 anyway, and then the things I like. Did you guys notice what kind of move sleep number took? Okay, go back, check the power hours last, I don't know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, every week. It's in my chart list, watch list, not chart list, Jesus. Let's look at the daily chart of the S&P 500. This is the daily chart of the triple Q. I can see a little bit of a pennant forming here, long wedge. Mostly those are bullish. MACD is rolling up. Again, I'm on the sideline. Sitting on my hands is better than guessing. But let's go through the list real quick. Apple. Supposedly iPhone 16 is nothing earth-shattering. I agree. I am an Android person. Don't hate me for it. I've always had Android. But my whole family has Apple, so we know. One of us is the dumb one in the room. 3 of them are me. So Apple gapped down today. Apple actually had topped at 237, sold off to 195. V bottom bounced to 233. Now gap down today. So that's kind of adding a little bit of weakness to the triple Qs because Apple is in the triple Qs as well as the S&P 500. The next one I'm gonna just go through my list. What I'm watching right now, Affirm. I don't say I said so. I bought the stock, sold the stock actually on Friday, and today it was down and then it's green now. As you guys can see, I like these types of charts. I said that a million times already, right? Especially on pullbacks. I have a catalyst, which was earnings, stock gapped up, broke out, went from about 33 to 45, pulled back all the way to almost 35. Perfect pullback. Perfect on top of the 20 EMA. Didn't even get to the 50 EMA. That shows strength or underlying or outperformance. And then right back to 45. Market's down today. Triple Qs are down today. S&P 500 is down today. And stock is up. These are the types of stocks you guys need to watch. As you guys can see, Affirm is a mover. It had a massive move from about 16 to about 52. And then just went sideways. And then it just broke out again. And if you guys look at Affirm's long-term picture, it's actually a lot more promising. Look what Affirm is. Affirm used to be $176 number. Came down, based for a solid year, had that little breakout move, then retested again, and now it's on its way up. Will it go into the 50s? Definitely. Before that, makes out about 52-ish. I think it's definitely an $80 number. Again, not trading or financial advice, but these are the things I'm watching for. Advanced Micro. I like Advanced Micro actually more than Micron. But let's look at the 1 year, 1 day chart. It's just in a bottoming process. Look, you can trade the stock, obviously. Stock was as high as 188, went down to 120. Stocks are moving. I mean, look, they're not going to wait for you. Would I have I have not traded AMD. I'm just watching it. But if it takes out 162, I think it's definitely 190 is the next stop. Definitely on my watch list. Again, a lot of things are on my watch list, but I do a few of them. This is the Bitcoin is getting a little slap today, but on the show, actually, on Friday, I sold my Bitcoin double leverage ETF options at $2. I had bought them at 118. Kyle Weezoom had bought them at 110. I don't know if he sold it or not, but if he did, good. He made some money. Actually, he followed it. There's definitely a downtrend here. As you guys also can see, I don't have too many lines drawn on my chart. I like naked charts. I don't create too much bias for myself. I mean, you do this after 30 years of doing this. Initially, you'll probably have more lines than me. CrowdStrike. Nancy Pelosi is buying the shit out of this, so I just follow her. But as we know what happened with CrowdStrike, right? They had the massive hack. Everything stopped, life stopped around the globe because supposedly everybody is using CrowdStrike. Cyber security tools, and stock went from 400 to 200 literally in like less than a month. That's 50% people. Then from 200 it bounced to about 285. See, these are the moves that you guys need to trade if you're trading options or the stock itself. Initially, I would recommend do small lots, like do even fractional shares, but trade the stock, understand what the stock is doing. When the market kind of sold off, stock a little bit sold off, but now it's kind of curling up again. I'm definitely watching. There's a cup and a handle pattern coming here. I'm not guessing. I'm looking at it. So CrowdStrike is something I'm closely watching. One of my favorites, if it does break out, is going to be First Solar. See, market's down on its butt. Stock is up today. 4 days ago, had a massive move on massive volume. Okay, First Solar is a mover when it starts breaking out. And on Friday, literally to the penny, tested 244 and sold off. Now it's just building a what? Mojotronics. If you read your book, what does this look like? There's the flag pole, and this is just going to go grind sideways and break out. Once it breaks out, Bollinger Bands will get wider. If it takes out 244, or I'm not going to anticipate it. If it takes out 244, I'm going to be all over First Solar, probably with options, probably way out of the money options, and then probably like go out to at least October 18th, if not November, regular expiration. Go way out of the money because I think out of this move, this is a massive cup and this is the handle. These are patterns I love, and these are patterns, these are A1 setups, and your risk is the 200 EMA, which it bounced off of twice. So, wild mover, okay? And if this thing breaks out, this thing is going to 300. And if I buy 2 month out, $300 calls for cheap, and hold it. And that's what my strategy is. But watching First Solar like a hawk, literally like a hawk. Bitcoin today is kind of getting smacked around. MicroStrategy is still going sideways. This is the second genius of the globe when it comes to Bitcoin, Michael Saylor. He bought more Bitcoin actually. Actually, he's up to I think 200. And as a corporate entity, they're the largest Bitcoin holder on the planet. I think he's up to 244,000 Bitcoin with an average cost of 38,000, if I'm not mistaken, and we're at 58,000. So MicroStrategy is a turbocharged, supercharged, what do you call it? A steroid pumped version of Bitcoin. Micron. I'm definitely watching Micron really closely. I like AMD more than Micron. Trying to double bottom here. Usually double bottoms don't hold. So, but there's so much support if we go back here, like into the 80s, flat 80s. Not a huge fan. Under its 50-day, under its 200-day, under its, I don't know, 20-day. NVIDIA, everybody wants to know about NVIDIA. I mean, NVIDIA is doing, actually, NVIDIA's picture is exactly like the triple Q picture. There's, lower highs squeezing into this wedge pattern here. Definitely breakout or breakdown imminent. Not imminent, maybe in about a week or two coming up. Triple Qs we looked at. One thing that I actually want to talk to you guys about today is silver. I like the silver chart. I think it's in a channel, as you guys can see right here. It actually is underperforming gold, but there is a ratio between how many pieces of silver you can buy with one piece of gold, basically ounce of gold versus ounce of silver. That ratio is really low at the moment. And this is gold, by the way. Gold is at an all-time high, keeps making new highs. I mean, these are beautiful charts. And, a lot of people say gold is not an inflation hedge. My ass. Of course it is. I mean, what are you guys talking about? Gold has an ETF, by the way. It's GLD. And silver has an ETF called SLV. I like silver here. So that's one other one. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla has a big day coming up. I like the chart. I mean, it's going sideways. It's just kind of grinding in an indecision area. Is the October 10th going to be enough catalyst for Tesla to get over 300? I'm not sure, but I see a lot of premium flowing into the options on this October, specifically October 18th. You got to follow the data. A lot of people are putting a lot of premium into Tesla. It needs to move before I make a decision. So this was one that I traded in and out of. Upstart Holdings. Today they announced. That's why sometimes you have to trade within 3 days. Not as good as a firm, but this morning they opened the stock down 3, went down 4. Now it's only down less than $1.50. They announced a convertible placement of $300 million. I don't see it. I didn't read it as too bad, but they definitely smacked the stock around, retested 32. I'm just going to be on the sidelines. I made money on this last week. Let's see what else I have. I'll go back to the chat if you guys. Let's look at Taiwan Semi. We'll also look at the semiconductor index, which is literally mirroring the triple Qs. And then we'll go back to the 2-minute S&P. Let's see where we are. Yeah, this is Taiwan Semi. TSM is the symbol. SMH. I'm going to actually show a couple extra ones. This is SMH. This looks exactly like NVIDIA, right? Because a big part of this is NVIDIA. I'm going to go Lumen. I talked about it on Friday. I like this little number here. LUMN is the symbol. I like the pattern of the chart. Really low, not low price, but low risk trade. I mean, I like these charts. What's happening here, right? Stock was literally $1, went to 8. Now it's kind of going sideways. MACD is about to turn back up again. Add it to your watch lists. Lumen, LUMN is the symbol. And, ZIM was another one. I think it's down a touch today, but nothing important. I traded in and out of that. I told you guys on Monday, I was long 50 of the October 18th, $20 calls. I bought them at 51 cents, sold them about $1.10, $1.20, but I still like it. I may re-enter that position with the same options, October 20s. Another one is Sleep Number. Go look at my earlier power hours. Sleep Number, the bed maker. See what I'm saying? These are the things that we like. Above it's 200, above it's 50, above it's 20. There's nothing not to like about this. And then I'm going to show you guys the bigger picture. Actually, stock at almost 19 bucks, and now it's pulling back. Regular correctional, low volume, market's down, kind of following the market, no big deal. Gotta be on your watch list. And then it went into resistance right up here, right? But then when I show you guys the longer, and then on this one, I will either buy the stock or both, or the options, probably in November. I want to go longer term on this one because I think the move is going to be sustained for a while, regardless of what the market does. And this is a 3-year picture of, see, these are the charts that I like. These are the setups, patience, right? Sleep Number was $105 number. Okay, sometimes you got to take a look at the bigger picture. And then nothing to do here. Under is 200-day, literally just death, right? Goes all the way down to single digits. Yeah, it does actually. Under 10. Sideways, 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 sideways. Breaking out now on good volume. Above is 200-day, first time in a long, long time. On any pullback, I'm a buyer of Sleep Number. I think stock is probably easily probably a $27 to $30 number. You can trade it, you can buy it and hold it. It's up to you. And then the risk is low. Like these are the 3-to-1, 4-to-1 upside downside risks, trades, right? So okay, you paid, let's say today it's a 17.23. You bought it here. What's your risk? What's your risk tolerance? Okay, to me, if it goes below its 50-day average, I'm done. I'm out about 14 or 13 and a half, 14. So I'm risking, I don't know, about 3.5 points to make 10, 12, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Sleep number is something that I'm really watching closely. Yeah, so let's go back to the 2-minute. Let's see what the market has done since I've been doing my spiel with my watch list. Look, there are more stocks on my watch list. There's like hundreds. And I have, the way I keep track of those is I set alerts. Like every brokerage or every platform you're on is going to give you that alerts. Set your alerts, important points on the chart. You don't have to watch it religiously every single second of the day, right? But what you have to do is just when it gets there, and set your alerts at critical levels so that you execute, right? I mean, you have your playbook ready, and then you execute. I mean, this is the S&P 500 2-minute chart. And let's see if there's anything in the triple Qs. Actually, S&P 500 is green now. Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling market's definitely going to like the rate cut. If it's 25, I think it's going to sell off right away. If it's 50, I think initially for a week or so, market's going to like the rate cut, and because it's still not pricing in recession. So I'm saying the recession is going to get priced in violently over the next 3 months, specifically after the elections. And this is the triple Qs 2-minute chart. Let's go to 2-minute on both. And then let's see if we can pull a trade, if we do have a trade. If not, no need to push. Like I said, I'm 98.7% cash, literally all cash. Keep my powder dry. Yeah. I mean, higher highs, higher lows. This sideways kind of a grind, really. I mean, will I short the triple Qs today? Yeah, if they get to about 473. And then will I short the spiders today? Yeah, I'll take a crack. But I did one trade, as I said. I'll show you guys the trade. $100 I made. Yeah, so here's the trade. I bought 5 puts and sold them. I bought them at 447, sold them at 469, same puts. These were weekly, expiring on this Friday. But I see implied volatility is pretty high on these because they have pumped the implied volatility to the point that it doesn't make really that much sense. You're paying a lot of premium when you're placing directional bets on these things. Yeah, 22 cents on 5 options is $110. So I made $110 actually. So far that's it. No need to push. I mean, look, if you look at the 2-minute chart, it's going sideways. Okay, let's look at the 10 minutes. So I watch on intraday, I watch 3 charts: 2-minute 1-day, 10-minute 10-day, 1 hour 30-day, 60-minute 30-day. Okay, so if you look at the 10-minute 10-day, what's it look like? It looks like going sideways before the next leg up. If you consider this a daily chart, let's say, okay, it double bottomed at 540. Since then, it's a rip. After a rip, what happens? Markets go sideways to digest the move. That's called, gathering energy for the next leg. And the trend is pretty clear here. All-time highs at 563. If that breaks that out, you go with it. And on the low end, we have 560. All right, well, lines are drawn. But now we're in the middle. Anything I do here is a guess. If I short the market here and breaks out, I'm screwed. If I buy the market here, it breaks down, I'm screwed. So why do I have to trade? It's going sideways. Now, I traded here. I actually bought it at the low last week, and I showed you guys. I sold it way too early. I sold it right at the resistance point right here, and then it ripped more. I mean, look, shit happens. Money is money, though. And then I watch hourly 30-day chart, 60-minute, and look, it's like it's in an uptrend. It double bottomed here at 540. It retested. When it took out 549, you should have been all over it because that's confirmed the double bottom. And then now we're at 563. Okay. The all-time high is 564.20. We're literally like, nothing away from 564. And when markets get to all-time highs, algos get active. When algos get active and you're on the wrong side, you're screwed. So to me, there's nothing to do. You got to sit on your hands, just like here. Just look at this sideways action. This is 1, 2. This each box is 1 day. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days the market grinded sideways. And then when it broke and the lines were drawn pretty clearly about 555, within 1, 2, 3, 4 days, we were down to 540. That's enough points for you guys to make a trade and do something with it. But when it's going sideways, okay, unless you're going to trade the chop, okay, great. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it even with your money. So just sit on my hands. Keep my powder dry. No need to be a hummingbird. No need to be a jockey. So let's go back and see if you guys have any other questions. I hope you do. I don't want to talk, although as much as I like talking. Let's see. Questions. All right, which is better for day trading, 5-minute or 10? That's Vic's question. I told you I have a 2-minute, 10-minute, and 1-hour charts, intraday charts that I watch. So how do you feel about Ford? I'll take a look in a minute. Okay, Mr. Gambit, welcome to the show. Don't read too much. Their stock is pretty okay. I'll take a look at it. See, this is bad. Like, stock is pretty low for historic stock that looks beating the. You're reading too many news. Pictures worth 1,000 words. I know that. Okay, bought a shit ton. Oh, God help you. CLSK is my newbie first move. Was under the impression that it will follow Bitcoin. No, it won't. We talked about that. That's a Bitcoin miner. Bitcoin miners after the halving are doing horrible. Their hash rates are up, but then they're not able to, every time it halves. Yes, you are a bag holder at the moment, but I will look at that chart for you. I will look at Mara, I will look at CLSK, and I will look at Riot. Those are the three major Bitcoin, what do you call those? Farmers, or whatever they are. Well, see, your time may come if Bitcoin breaks out here and goes to 110,000. Then you may break even. And if they do that, please take your money and run. Okay. Joey BTV says, looking to get a new bet soon. There you go. See? You don't have to be a stock analyst to do this shit. How many of you go shop at Costco? My favorite company on the planet. They treat their employees amazing. Stock has done nothing but gone up over the last 10 years. Beautiful company. Every which way. Fundamentally, the way they treat their employees, the way the benefits are. I mean, shit. And here it is. There it is. Proof is in the pudding. When you're dealing with these companies that you can buy and sell every day, all right, from social media, Facebook, Twitter. Well, Twitter is not public anymore, but Facebook, which is Meta, Google, right, Apple. You have their tools in your hands. You kind of know what's happening. If you don't like the product, you're not going to use it. You're not going to buy it. And like you, millions of others are going to do it. The same thing. So this Joey BTV says, Sleep Number popped up first. That means people may be upgrading their beds, and not just him. And stock is already showing that, right? SNBR is the symbol. Buy at your own risk. That's analysis. Like if you go to a Gap store and other than you, there's no other shoppers. It's a public company, symbol is GPS. Maybe it's not time to buy Gap, right? A lot of you are putting too much reading, too much thought into it. You shop at these places, Targets and Walmarts and all these places that are public companies, right? I'm not telling you to go to every single Target and check out if there's like count heads. But you use the company's goods. Simple analysis, man. There's a start question. I didn't start anything. Oh, I did start it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Craig. New member. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that because I repeated it at the start. So on the channel, we did good enough that we can have members now, memberships, support of the channel. It takes a lot of work. It's not for the money, seriously. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, do it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 extra a month, members only um, live streams. So you will only members will be able to join that. So if you're a member only, then it'll be a lot more one-on-one interaction. And also, I'm creating some sort of package. I don't know. One of you is already doing it. I don't know if he's here or not, but you can reach out to me, Sergio at sergioavidian.com. Individual coaching, one-on-one, with Zoom calls. Obviously, it's going to accelerate your progress and mentorship. So I'm open to do it because the other gentleman approached me and goes, why don't you do it? I think it'll be better. I'm like, okay, why, whatever. If I have the time, I will do it. And then I'm creating the packages. I'll let you guys know. But the memberships are open, super chats are open, and super stickers are open for the channel. If you feel like donating, much appreciated. We're going to look at Ford and CLSK a little over a month ago, but a shit ton. Okay, well, you said that already. I read it. All right, so let's go. Mojotronics, a new member. Thank you, Mojotronics. Let's go look at Ford and CLSK. Mr. Gambit, are you still here? I hope you're here. All right, let's go look at it. Let's go look at Ford, and let's go look at CLSK and Mara. Ford. All right, Mr. Gambit, you're a great driver. I know. You're the sniper of Surge in LA. You're the top man. It's the 2-minute chart. Let's look at the daily chart of Ford, 1-year chart. I don't know what to say. I mean, gap down, horrible earnings, obviously. Garbage. I mean, there are millions of other stocks out there. I don't want to be negative, but this is bad. Okay, this is for, okay, let's do this. Let's look at Ford versus, let's compare it to well, it's not fair. Let's compare it to a Tesla. Okay, so this is 3-year Ford. Ford topped at 26, came down to literally 10, and just been going sideways. Dead man's EKG. Right? Last time it got up to 15, it got smacked, just back down to 10. Let's look at Tesla, how Tesla has done. Tesla probably hasn't done that well either over the last 3 years, but I'll compare it to Toyota. This is Tesla. Tesla looks like Ford. This is 3 years. Ford actually on a much longer term basis. Let's see. I bet you Ford is not even where it was, probably. This is the 10-year Ford chart weekly. Huh, there you go. Okay, Mr. Gambit. October 2015, Ford was $15. If you had Ford since then, we're talking 9 years now. It got as low as 4, and then it went as high as 25, from 4 to 25. Now it's back to 10. If you own Ford for the last 9 years religiously, you'll be down like 30%, 25, 30%. What's the point? I don't see it. Okay, so no on Ford. Toyota. I don't even know what Toyota symbol is. Anybody know? Toyota right there. Toyota. Let's look at Toyota. Oh, I must have had what is this? Split? Let's look at Toyota. I bet you Toyota is doing a lot better than Ford. I don't like car companies. It's a horrible business. What happened here? There's a gap here. I don't know what happened here. Anybody know? Huh. Okay. Let's look at Ferrari. Let's see how Ferrari has done compared to Ford. As a car company, I mean. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. This is not a gap, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I had probably had a split. Okay. Well, Toyota has definitely done better than Ford. Let's look at Ferrari. Well, look at Ferrari's chart. Well, I'd rather own last 10 years Ferrari than Ford. 9 years ago, same time Ford was 15, Ferrari was 31. Now Ford is 10, 11, and Ferrari now is 500. Huh? I mean, if you didn't know this was Ferrari, you'd be like, wow, what is that? Let's look at Volkswagen. I don't know what the symbols are on these companies because I never like Volvo. Let's look at Volvo. Nothing burger really. Let's look at Volkswagen. Volkswagen. There we go. I don't know. There's so many symbols here. Okay, Volkswagen. Volkswagen, just like freaking Ford. Going back to 3 years. Let's go back. Yeah, I don't like car companies. They don't make money. Look at that. I mean, what is there to like? Stock was 32, now it's 10. Forget about car companies. If you want to deal with a car company, wait until Tesla breaks out again. I think it'll be it. Yeah, not interested. So let's look at Mr. Mojotronics CLSK. Sir, I told you where your stop should be when I was. Oh Lord, gosh, golly, gosh. I mean, one thing. Okay, it's into support. $8, $9 now. Yeah. Okay. Remember when I was talking about CLSK? It went back and forth between 14 and 20. If you're trading, there is a trading range. I'll bet you bought it at 14, 13. It's breaking down, sir. If you read your books, I mean, if you bought it at like 16, I'd be out at 14. And that's what happens when you like look at day trade and then become a bag holder. There's nothing to like about this. What is there to like? Under is 200. Like, there's your breakdown right there. 14. When it closed below that number, below the 200 day, took out this low, this low, this low. Look at this top. And now, okay, now you're hoping, praying that Bitcoin goes. And when Bitcoin moves, this thing will move. Don't get me wrong. So last time Bitcoin went from, 25,000 to 75,000, this thing went from 7.5 to 25. So you still have a chance. So don't start writing things off because right now it's into the next leg of support, 8, 7, 8 range. Right about here. I wouldn't buy it. It's against every single one of my rules. Marathon. Same thing. I don't know. But then when Bitcoin moves on the next leg, but you have MicroStrategy, you have BITX, and you have MSTX. Instead of you trading those, trade those three. MSTR, MSTX, and BITX. If Bitcoin moves from now 50,000, 58,000 to 120,000, BITX will go like 23 to 75. Okay. And MicroStrategy will go from like 130 to 250 plus. So those are the ones to trade. These Bitcoin miners are not the ones. But then when Bitcoin moves, these will move as well, as Marathon did. It went from 8 literally to 31 in a matter of a month and a half. So when they move, when Bitcoin is moving, these are the ones. You don't do the daily trading thing with these things. It's not good enough. And Riot is another one. Riot platform. I mean, look at that. Death. Nothing. 13 was the top. It's a 6. This is the worst acting one. So if you're going to do any of these, I would look at CLSK and Mara. The rest is garbage. So trade MSTR or IBIT, which is the Bitcoin ETF by BlackRock, MSTX or BITX. Those are the ones you would trade, sir, if you're going to trade. Let's go back. Let's see if there's more questions. Please don't be shy. No, with my pleasure. Craig, thank you for the super sticker. Lambo. Lambo is not public. I think Lambo is owned by Fiat. Okay, that's fundamentals. We don't care about fundamentals here. Just wondering for the breakout. Yeah, nothing. Meaningless. It's in the price of the stock, Mr. Gambit. Just look at the chart. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Yes. Okay, cool. At least you have a plan. What is your average, if you don't mind me asking, Mojotronics? I mean, you admitted you're a bag holder, so might as well tell me what your average is. I'm hoping you're not going to come with some ridiculous middle double-digit number. Because that's where you should have sold it. Did you start buying this at 16? I bet you did. Wow. Okay. Well, your stop should have been 14 and you'd be looking fine. And then if you want to re-enter now, you re-enter now. I was pretty close. All right, here we go. It's not embarrassing. Well, you have two choices. Now, you can wait for it to get to 17. This I will never suggest you do, but in this case, average 13. Okay, well, okay, fine. Thank God. Okay, so if you bought it at 17 and it moved to 20, you didn't sell it, and it broke 14, you should have been out right then and there. 10% loss, 12% loss, bye-bye. Look where you are now, right? Okay, so another mentor advice. It's never too late to sell. Are you here, Weasel? uh, you bought Celsius at like 80 or 100 or something. The stock keeps going down, and I'm like, okay, you average down. Okay, well, it may be time to buy a little bit more at $8 and pray to God that Bitcoin is gonna double, and then you're gonna get out with your, you know what. Lynn is here. Hello, North Carolina. So okay, so we did it for an hour and a half. Let's look at the S&P 500 one more time. Let's see if we have anything going there. Okay, so for Wednesday, Fed party, I'm going to be on 10 a.m. Pacific. Please share. Please let your buddies, friends, relatives know. Definitely going to be trading that day. See, still sideways. Vic, what am I supposed to do here? If you didn't buy the low here at 560, which you tested 3 times, grinding higher, literally at all-time highs. I gave you guys my playbook, what I think is going to happen on Wednesday. I am 98.7% cash. I said it 10 times. I'm proud of it. I don't need to trade. I'm sitting on my hands. I think this is going to be it. Sideways, sideways, sideways until Fed decision, and then the algos will kick in. Algos will go wild. Then I'll trade. If I trade, I'm not going to day trade, but I'm definitely going to take a much longer negative position. In fact, let's talk a little bit before I sign off. Let's talk a little bit about that. What my plan is. Now, plans can change, but this is my plan for Wednesday. Not for Wednesday, at least a week after Wednesday. Because once the pivot happens, market doesn't sell off right away. Especially if that got 50, I think market's going to make any all-time high. Suck more bulls in, and then rip them to pieces later. Again, my opinion, but my bias has been negative, so you guys can understand. Let's look at the daily chart. No, actually, I don't need to. All right, this is the S&P 500. This is my plan. Once the Fed decision has come, okay, this is my option chain. I have Thinkorswim. Whatever platform you have this option chain. So what I want to do, actually, see, right now S&P is at 562.59, 56, whatever. Let's say 562. Let's say it makes an all-time high of 570, which I think it will if they cut the rates by 50 points. 50 basis points, not points, Jesus. What I'm feeling like doing or thinking of doing is go out really far on my option strategy, or short the index itself. But shorting the index is 562 a piece. I mean, how many shares can I short? I can fully margin and short probably, let's see, 5,000 shares. I'm not going to do that. I'm not crazy for that. So I'm going to take advantage of the derivatives. Okay, so what am I going to do? Okay, here's my strategy. I'm going to go short premium, meaning I'm going to sell calls. I'm going to create myself a synthetic short position with 2 different dates. You guys are listening? Take notes. Because in the heat of the moment on Friday, on Wednesday, I will do it, and then you guys will go like, "What did you just do?" So absorb this well. I'm going to go short the short dated options, calls, short calls, selling calls, naked calls, unlimited risk. Okay, but I'm going to go out to probably I would say October 18th strike, regular expiration. But I'm thinking S&P is going to get to 570, 575 with the interest rate cuts if it's a half a point. Then I'm going to go sell. Okay. Sell. Let's see where they are right now and then where they're going to, assuming where they're going to be. I see the implied volatility is crazy high on these things. Okay, so let's get to 570 first of all. See how many options there are? Millions and millions of options. And all these things are going to expire worthless. So we're at 562. I'm at 552. 562, sorry. These are the 560s. The calls are about 11. 13.4 vol IV. And as you guys can see, the IV on the calls is a little bit lower. See, this is 13.4. IV on the puts is 15. So people are kind of thinking likewise, which is bad already. But these are the 560 calls and puts. So 560 calls for October 18th of this year are about 1140, and the puts are about 785-ish. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 600. Okay, because ultimately I think we're going to get to 570, 575. So 600s are pretty safe. So if once we get there, I'm going to go either short anywhere between sell these options to fund my purchases of the longer dated puts. So I'm going to sell calls and buy puts. So that creates a synthetic short position, right? So selling calls means I'm going to sell the premium, collect that money first of all, whoever is buying it from me. So once we get to 570, 575, I'll probably do the 580s. Right now, they're 2. By then, if the market moves the way I think is going to move, and these are all best laid plans, are to be changed, obviously. I think they're about 220 now. They'll probably be like $4 or $5 then. I'm talking about a week after the interest rate cuts. If it's a quarter point, I'm straight buying puts. I'm not even messing with the selling calls. The puts I'm going to buy, again, are going to be longer dated ones. So I'm going to go to 2025, either January or February. So let's take a look at them both. This is the January, January 17th. This is regular expiration puts. I'm going to buy these or the Februaries, but let's look at the analytics of this. So at 575, I will buy the at the money puts. At the money meaning whatever they're at. So if it's 575, I'll buy the 575 puts. Right now, they're $22 a piece, the 575s, but the index is at 562. The 560s are about 16. So they're going a little bit out of the money, but I'm going to buy at the money puts. And most likely sell the calls if the calls are where they're at. Again, this is all going to shape up with the price that I'm offered. Things will be different. But my strategy is, there's 2 ways to play this. You're really hoping for an absolute disaster. Economy goes in a recession. S&P 500 goes from 560 to 460. And give yourself enough time, go buy way out of the money puts, right? Or buy at the money puts, sell the calls. With the premium you're collecting from the calls, you fund your purchase of the puts. Yeah, synthetic short, kind of risky position with the naked calls, but price is going to dictate of what I'm going to do, but that's going to be my strategy. That's how I'm going to play my negative bias. Let's look at the way out of the money puts in case you're looking for a disastrous economy next 6 months. Let's look at the S&P now is 560. Let's look at the 450 puts. They're $2 for January, right here. 450 is 260. Let's look at February's, because there's a lot of holidays in between. There's going to be some slippage there. Let's look at February's or March's. So all of this is time premium. We're just hoping that the economy goes into a recession when you do this trade, and then market dies. Now, it doesn't have to get there for you to make money. Okay, if the market even moves 10% down, all these puts will double, triple, depending on when it happens, how many days you have, how much decay you already had. Let's look at the March 21st expiration, 2025 puts, 450 puts. Probably like $5. That's my guess. Let's see how good I am. A little bit less. 450s are 423, pretty close. So, yeah, that's either that you do that, or right, or you do what I said: sell the short-term calls, buy the long-term puts. And Mojo Tronics has, these are all strategies, by the way, Mojo Tronics. And the other one you can do is debit spreads, directional bet. So you'll buy at the money puts, sell out of the money puts, right? Your downside is limited. Obviously, you cannot lose more than what you put up in options. And then you can lower your risk. So let's say S&P is at 570. You buy the 550 puts and sell the 450 puts against it. That's called a debit put spread. Okay. And, that's a spread. So read it in the book what that means. There's many ways to skin the cat. I mean, nothing against cats from Ohio. I love cats, but I don't know. I don't know if that thing is real, by the way. People are really eating cats and not, but not my business, really. As long as it's not my cat. That's kind of selfish. So yeah, let's see if you guys have more questions. So that's going to be my strategy. My see the 3 P's: patience. I'm experiencing. I'm practicing my patience today for sure. I'm not getting involved. I did one trade, made $110, and that's it. Made lunch money. Number 2, I'm 98.7% cash. Right? I have no positions. I'm just kind of sitting, collecting interest on my money market. Number 3, planning. I have my plan ready. So whatever the market gives me, I have a plan ready for it already. So one of the 3 that I said I'm going to execute, and then I'm going to trust that I did the right thing. Timing, of course, is going to make a difference. I probably won't do it on Wednesday because algos will go wild and push and pull me all over the place. But slowly, I'll play this game. Again, my bias is negative. I think overall, we're at a very critical point. If the market price is in a recession, I think my trade is going to be extremely well done. But market, price takes precedence. Price is telling you something. You can hope and pray. Not going to work. Hope and pray does not work. But you do the 3 P's. You stay patient. You execute when it gets there, like I did last week. And you have a plan. I have a plan. All right. A few more questions and I'll say goodbye. Okay, no, it's not embarrassing, man. Thank you, Mojotronics. I try. I'm not a rock star. I'm just a regular human being. I try to do good. I really am. That's going to be until I die, actually. I really like doing good. Okay, let's see. This is exactly what I was asking. There you go. Yes. So study synthetic shorting. Study how it's done. Okay. Study debit put spreads. Okay. Study spreads. And the flat out going short by buying puts. That's my strategy. Which one I do will depend on the market and what it's telling me. I'm not that smart to guess. I have done that in the past. So please don't guess. Guessing will take you to the poorhouse. It'll take you to blown accounts. Just trade what's in front of you. Right now, there's nothing in front of me that I want to trade. I am watching First Solar like a hawk. I swear that's going to be the next big trade. I'm telling you guys. So let's look at that before I leave. I'll give you my favorites. So let's pick 3 favorites, 3 stocks, three tickers. Okay. And then I'll leave after that. If you have questions about those, shoot. All right. Here we go. This is S&P 500. I don't care. Let's go with 4, actually. I'll give you 4 tickers. And then you guys will follow. Just write these things down. Don't be lazy. Okay, let's go. Alphabetical order. Affirm. AF. Apple, Frank, Robert, Mary. If you ain't gonna do anything, don't do anything. I'm not telling you. I'm flat. I don't have it. But I'm watching it. Affirm. Let's look at the daily chart of a firm. 1 day, 1 year. I like it. I love it. It's beautiful. Right into resistance now, 45. Will I short it? Hell no. If you bought it, enjoy the ride. You bought it at exactly where you should have bought it at 35. So a firm is 1. Okay. Let's go to First Solar. Hawk like a style watching. I'm not buying it yet. If it breaks 244, you know what? In fact, let's look at the options on that. Let's see what kind of strategy I may do on that. So Frank, Sam, Larry, Robert is the symbol on this one. If you guys are interested in Bitcoin, obviously, MSTR, Mary, Sam, Tom, Robert, MicroStrategy, or Boy, Ida, Tom, X-Ray, BITX. That's the double leveraged Bitcoin. If you're interested, we'll see how that goes, because Bitcoin has been going sideways for like 8 months now. Either it's going to massive top that's just going to break down, go to 30, take everything with it, or it's going to break out at 68 to 72, and next leg will be at 120 real quick. That's when you guys can trade CLSK, Mara, but then I wouldn't touch those. I'd just rather trade MicroStrategy and BITX or IBIT or MSTX. Next one, so Affirm, First Solar, Sleep Number, okay, SNBR, Sam, Nancy, Boy, Robert. I am not telling you to go buy it. I have no position to it. It's not trading advice. It's not financial advice. I will trade these. These are my watch list. These are my favorite 3 stocks, let's say, for this week. Okay, 3. Let's add one more. What do you guys want to do? Oh, well, obviously, Kava. Can't go wrong with that thing. CAVA. So it's all like different groups of stocks, by the way. High tech, energy, let's say, like solar, bedding or beds, Now, Sleep Number has one negative thing going for itself. If we're going in a recession, how many people are going to buy a new bed? See, that's the macro side of it. You got to start thinking about it. But the chart is saying something completely different. And Kava, obviously. You guys have any other favorites? Lumen, definitely. I'm watching. I will not buy options on this. It's optionable, but I'm going to trade the stock. It's cheap enough. It's about $6. I love the way this thing is shaping up. By the way, if you guys look at the long-term Lumen chart, you guys will understand why I like it. Lumen. Look at Lumen. See? It was like a $15 number. Came down. Again, see all these patterns. The same thing over and over and over. Stock comes from like 12 to 1. Literally goes sideways for, I don't even know how long. Let's see. Holy crap, like a year and a half. And then it's not even on my watch list. And then it kind of curls up. It starts breaking out. Goes up if it's 200. Goes up if high volume. Okay, on my radar, let's trade. Okay, 2 to 8. Correction to 4.5. Test of 7. Correction to 4.5 again. Now it's at 6. All this is going to do, okay, is going to keep going sideways. Either it's going to break down or break out. But these types of patterns usually commence to the upside. Easy trade, really. But again, gotta wait. Not financial advice, not trading advice. What else is on my list? Let's see. Yeah, I know you all want to buy Tesla. No, don't. Yeah, okay, hold on a second. I think PayPal. Zillow? Yes. Again, go watch the power hours. Right? Zillow. Been talking about Zillow for 2 months, a month and a half at least. Breaking out today on a down day. Why? Okay, lower interest rates are good for the real estate market. See, stocks always move ahead. This stock, there you go. Okay, look. Catalyst, always good earnings, gap up, grind higher from about 47 to 58. Beautiful pullback to its 20-day. Low volume, nothing. Next leg up is already happening. I missed this trade. I'm an idiot. Why? I've been talking about it. I actually traded it here, but then I missed it. Son of a. It's breaking out. I got a buy on any pullback. Zillow. And one of the dead ones, I think, is PayPal. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Nothing major. So, Affirm, First Solar. First Solar is going to be my next trade, if anything else. It's going sideways. Okay, let's look at the possible trade that I'm going to put on this one. Definitely going to be options. It's a $234 stock at the moment. Let's look at the options. All right, where do I go with this one? Let's look at the October's coming up. October has 32 days to go. If it breaks out, plenty of time, but I'm going to go longer because I think the move is going to be more sustained, more sharp. I think it's going to get up to 280 at least, to 300. Okay. Calls. 200 calls. 230 calls, 240 calls. 240 calls at the money, $12. Wow, expensive, 6% premium. I don't want to put out that kind of premium. On this one, I will I will most likely do a way out of the money debit call spread, or call debit spread, whatever you guys want to call it. So how's that going to work out? I'm going to buy the same month. So I'm going to go 1 month out to November. Third Friday of November expiration is November 15th. So here are this is the November option chain. Stock is at 230. 230? Yeah, 233. On a breakout of 242.44, I'm in. Let's see. Okay, right now these calls are ridiculously expensive. The 240s are $22. They're like, wow, 5-6% premium. Why? Earnings are coming out? I'll bet you they are. IV is like 63%. Hey, it's just expensive. Yep, earnings probably coming out, because if you guys can see on October, the implied volatility on the 240 calls is 51. Well, market makers are not stupid. They're not going to let you play for free. So November 15th are at 64, 63. So what's the play here? Okay, if you're expecting a moonshot like I am, a quick move, depending how much when it breaks out. I mean, if I have enough time with Octobers, I'm going to do with Octobers. If I don't, then I'll go to Novembers, but this is the play I'm going to do. I will go out of the money, buy out of the money calls. I will go probably 280 calls, which is about $10 now, November's, and I will buy the 280 calls, same month, the third Friday of November. They're about, let's say, 10 now. See, this is how you structure, and you do this on one trade, one ticket. You can leg in, you can leg out, but I rather do a spread on one ticket or one execution. So we're buying these calls. They're $9.5 to $10. So let's say they're $10. When it breaks out, they may be $8. We may go sideways for another month. But at today's prices, right now, the second prices, they're $9.90, or let's say they're $10. What I will do is I will buy the 280 calls, and I will sell. Give myself like a 50-point gap. I will sell the 330 calls against my 280 calls. So what do I do here? So I'm putting out $9.5, or $10, and I'm taking in $3. Let's say they're $277, $345. So so the net debit on that is going to be, I paid somebody $9 or $10, and I took in $3. So my net debit is $7. Most I can lose is $7, and I have time until the third Friday of November. If the stock breaks out and goes to 280, 290, and what's my upside? So I'm long the 280 calls, and I'm short the 340 calls. So I have 50 points there. Now, best thing that could happen is stock goes to 340. I can then collect all that 50 points, but I only put up 7 to collect 50. What is the return on that? All I can lose is 7. I cannot lose more than 7. But I'm playing for 50. 7 to 50. That's 7.1 to 1. Think about it, right? So there are certain things that you do, you limited risk, massive upside potential, and then you just wait for the time to do it. So that's another strategy, right? Called debit spreads. And if it goes to 340, 330 before November 15th, you'll make more money actually. But the most you can make is 50 because you're long the 280 calls and short the 330 calls. So 330 minus 280 is 50 points. Well, your outlay is 7. Well, 7 to 50 is 7x. Okay? So those types of strategies, Mojotronics, if you understood that. So there you go. I think I'll end it here. I hope you guys learn. So come back on Wednesday. Tell your friends. We'll have a Fed party. We definitely will have a Fed party. I like First Solar. So I gave you those guys those 5 stocks: Zillow, Affirm, First Solar, Sleep Number. I don't know. You guys want one more? 5 stocks. Let's go 5. Let's look at my chart list. Okay. Nvidia probably, but not at the moment. People ask me about GME. Don't ask me about GME ever again until it starts moving. I don't know. Oh, let's see. I don't see anything really. Alibaba is okay, but it's just not, it doesn't move as much. Yeah, those 4 are good for this week anyway. Plus, we're going to have some activity with the index puts and calls. Yeah. So, but those are strategies that you patiently wait. I'm waiting on First Solar. You have your position size already in your head. I mean, that depends on your account size. And then you have your plan. Okay. When it breaks out, I execute the plan. And then after that, I'm not hoping, praying. I know it's going to happen. I'm a very high likelihood that this pattern is going to resolve to the upside. If it resolves to the downside, if it takes out the 200-day EMA at about $200 or 203, bye-bye. Okay. If that happens, I paid for that spread $7, let's say. Okay? Cool. All right. If it breaks down, goes against me, take my loss. Those spreads probably will be 3. They're not going to go to 0 because they have until November 15th, right? You'll take a $4 loss. Shit happens. Yeah. What else is there? But you guys notice? Okay, I'm gonna end with this on First Solar. You guys notice the stock went sideways, right? Sideways, for God knows how long, right? And then when it broke out, what happened? Literally, it went from 200 to 300 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Am I expecting a move like that? No, I'm expecting actually more of a grind slowly, but about a month and a half kind of a move. Okay. But I'm definitely expecting it to get to, 300 plus. Well, I'm long the 280 calls, short the 330 calls. Gets to 300. That call spread is going to be moving probably from 7 to about 23 to 24. 3 to 1. If it goes to 340, 7 to 1. I like it. I don't know. What else is there to say? So with that said, I think I'm going to say goodbye. Go do nothing. So visit us tomorrow on the other channel. We have Eric Wagner of More Perfect Union tomorrow as our guest. We're going to play the raw synced data that Chris worked on it for days tomorrow to tell you guys how badly you guys are getting screwed, as if you didn't know it already. So please visit us. Okay, let's see if there's more questions. No more questions? You all shy today? Okay. No rock stars. This is exactly okay. October 29th, earnings on FSLR. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's why the Novembers are expensive. Thank you, Vic. Okay. All right, cool. No more questions? Any other questions? No. Okay, I'm going to say bye. It's about 2 hours. So, 3 Ps. Come back on Wednesday. Bring your friends. Let's have a Fed party. We'll have 1 hour before the earnings, and then I'll try to stick around at least an hour after. Not earnings, Jesus. Interest rate decision. And I'll try to stick around an hour. But my long-term plan is laid out already. And Short term, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, thank you. Much appreciated. So I'm going to end with this. So channel's open for memberships. If you want to become a member, support the channel. Thank you so much. On top of that, I will announce those. I will have 2 extra members only live streams, which will be a lot more one-on-one, because I know not everybody is going to become a member, although it's worth it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, what is it? I think it's at $10. I mean, it's a burger. I don't know. So, but we'll have more one-on-one questions and answers and sharing screens and things like that through StreamYard. So, maybe worth it to you, or maybe not. Tiger Meg says, I've been busy with my hands reassembling front end. Yeah, Tiger Meg is special. She's got her shit together. Let's see. Yeah, $10 a month. Too high? Not even a burger, bro. I don't know. I mean, you just get to do 2 extra live streams a month. Because I don't know how many of these continuously I'm going to do, 3 a month. So I have other things to do. I will still do the Friday Power Hour for sure. That's going to go on as long as I'm alive. Well, as long as the channel's around. These extra 2, right? Maybe cut 1 and then make it to the members only. But I gotta pay Chris somehow. He's the YouTube manager. He ain't gonna work for free, people. But anyway, so yeah, Tiger Meg is awesome. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm gonna end the stream and see you guys Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. lunch hour. Yeah, that's what Vic said. Okay, send me some ideas. Sergio at sergioavedian.com. Since we're doing them Mondays and Wednesdays, so Fridays is Power Hour. What should I call the other 2 days? Trading Hour or Live with Sergio? I don't know. Whatever. But come back on Wednesday, please. 10 a.m. I'll be here. Sharp. We'll talk some shop. And then 11 o'clock, charts will start expanding because algos will go wild. And after that, we'll see. Trade what's in front of you. 3 P's. Patience, position, planning. Have a good one. See you guys on the other channel tomorrow. Bye now.